It can be easy to forget, amidst everything else about Donald Trump, that he is, to put it as generously as possible, a bit weird when it comes to black people. Though plenty of people would probably look at Trump's relationship with the black community throughout his very long life and probably take that description a bit further.
Yeah.
You've, of course, got stuff like getting caught by the Justice Department doing housing discrimination back in the 70s, continuing to insist that the Central Park Five were guilty decades after they were exonerated by DNA evidence, insisting that Barack Obama couldn't possibly be a natural-born U.S. citizen, calling a white supremacist mob very fine people, and then more recent stuff like that weird little recurring bit at the debate about immigrants stealing black jobs.
Yeah, but is Trump a racist? Well, not so fast there, buddy. Would a racist agree to be a featured guest at the annual convention of the National Association of Black Journalists, taking questions on stage from black interviewers in a room full of black attendees? Sorry, libs, but Trump is actually super normal and good in these types of situations, as we saw on Wednesday, when he just nailed it, knocked it out of the park. Just a beautiful appearance. He clearly demonstrated that he is the right candidate for black Americans. So, if you want to see a master at work, look no further.
You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country.
Especially with another 4
I have
years.
been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act?
And for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work, in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Okay, so yeah, coming off a bit hostile there, not exactly putting the allegations to rest, and right off the bat, but that interviewer was very rude. I agree. She should have been nicer about it. No formalities. Come on.
He's like, no hello?
But, surely things got better as this hour-long interview progressed. Wait, no, I'm getting word that things did not get any better, and the interview was abruptly cut short after just 34 minutes because it was going so badly.
I do want to add that she might have been a little testy at the beginning because they had wasted so much time before it was supposed to start trying to beg Donald Trump to let them have a fact checker live on stage, and he refused, and it was delaying his actual appearance.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So finally they got him out there, and it's just like, all right, what do you got to say? Anyways.
But how bad could the rest of it be? Come on.
Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition of that.
Sir, I'm asking you a question, a very direct question.
Define it for me if you would.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't. Because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that she is...
I think somebody should look into that too when you continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some Republicans
really don't
have
know.
said?
I mean, I really don't know. Could be. There are some.
Okay. Woo boy. So that's how it's going to go then. Well, sir, continue to keep talking.
Yes. This is your advisor, Donald. I'm strongly urging you to keep posting that shit.
Yep. Keep saying all these things. It's doing great things for your numbers. Don't stop. Don't stop. You're definitely
Everyone's
in the right.
loving it. They're loving it.
You should definitely make this a talking point for your entire campaign, and all of your surrogates should be out there parroting it. So moments after telling a room full of black people that he was the best president for black people since Abraham Lincoln, Trump decided to make the case that Kamala Harris, whose mother was from India and whose father was from Jamaica, only recently became black.
She's basically Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah, and you could hear those gasps in the crowd throughout all of this, but...
Yeah, I wish there was footage of the audience because, like, it did at least seem like most of the people there were having fun. Like, none of this... There were parts where there were gasps because it was like, damn, didn't expect that. But for the most part, it seemed like they knew what they were getting, and this was entertainment.
It felt like he walked directly into a trap.
Yes, yes, he did.
Like, hey, okay, say what you're going to say. And this is one of the rare times where you're actually going to get pushback on it. And it feels like a lot of the laughter is just that kind of natural response of being like, did he really just say that?
There were people being like, oh, great job, National Association of Black Journalists. Look what happens when you invite him on. And it's like, yeah, no, it's great. This was awesome.
He showed exactly who he was.
So this is a net good for everyone who's opposed to this man because he really showed his ass up there.
And we will get into this whole Kamala Harris becoming black thing in a few minutes. But look, she's black. She's Indian. She's biracial, along with millions of other Americans, as we said on...
Biracial? What?
This is the first time I'm hearing this.
What is this?
We were talking about this on Monday's episode, where it's just like, you have whatever base you have.
Mm-hmm.
And it is astonishing that they just keep chipping away at it bit by bit by offending everyone who isn't a overweight white male that's over the age of like 40.
You can only be one race. Only one.
Yeah. So, like millions of other Americans, she is biracial. And if we know anything about biracial people, it's that they love it when an old white man tells them that they have to pick one or the other, or that half of them doesn't exist at all.
Yeah, they love it. They love it when you do that.
It's a very appealing message that voters embrace. Yeah. But let's get back to the interview. I mean, it's going pretty badly so far.
Not great.
But at least he didn't talk about the whole black jobs thing again, right? Right?
My message is to stop people from invading our country that are taking, frankly, a lot of problems with it. But one of the big problems, and a lot of the journalists in this room I know and I have great respect for, a lot of the journalists in this room are black. I will tell you that coming from the border are millions and millions of people that happen to be taking black jobs. You had the best.
What exactly is a black job, sir?
A black job is anybody that has a job. That's what it is. Anybody that has a job.
All right.
And
Mr. President,
they're taking the employment away from black people.
Oh, no. Wow. Good Lord. And listen, it's one thing to do this like at a debate or a rally, but like it's especially weird to play the black jobs card at an event where it's mostly black journalists. Like, is journalist a black job? I mean, surely it must be, since these are black people working in journalism.
And Donald Trump hates journalists.
Are people from Guatemala, like, traveling thousands of miles, crossing the river, coming to America to steal jobs from journalists? No, of course not. I think even Trump wouldn't make that case because it's ridiculous. So we're left to continue to wonder then, what exactly does he mean by black jobs? And the answer is, of course, it's shitty jobs, the kind of jobs that white people don't want to do, black jobs. That's what he means. And by extension, he's kind of saying that jobs like journalists, that's a white job.
At one point during this thing, he said, there's a lot of black journalists in here. And everyone was laughing.
They're like, yeah, it's the NABJ. Do you even know where you are, sir? Anyways, back to the interview. Here's Trump talking about pardoning January 6th rioters.
But sir, my question is on those.
What's going to happen to
my
the
question
people
is
that
on
tried
those
to
rioters who assaulted officers.
You have to
would you pardon
what's
those
going to
people?
happen? Oh, absolutely, I would.
You
if
would
they're
pardon
innocent,
those?
If they're innocent, I would pardon them.
They've been convicted.
And by the way, the Supreme Court just well, they were convicted by a very tough system. They were.
Cool. Everyone loves being reminded about that. Voters love when you remind them of like one of the darkest days in American history in recent years.
And how you're going to make a lot of those people's lives a lot better and less consequential for what they did.
Like, I'm pretty sure like a good chunk of the electorate just, has their memory span is small. They just hadn't thought about that shit in a while. Mm-hmm. At the time, it was like, oh God, this is bad. We got to make sure this guy never comes back. But, time passes, things happen, and you're like, yeah, this Trump guy, he says some things I like. And then in yet another unforced error, he's just like, yeah, remember January 6th? That was me. And also all those people that you all saw, like, beating up cops and breaking windows and storming the U.S. Capitol, we're going to let them off.
Yeah.
Of course, as long as they're innocent. They've been convicted of crimes.
Ah!
Well, we're going to do something about that. Anyways, like we said, this was all supposed to go on for like an hour, but Trump's team, they just abruptly cut the whole thing off 35 minutes in.
These people coming in are taking your job.
Project 2025.
I think we have to leave it there by the Trump team.
All right.
So leave it. That is the last word. Thank you so much, Mr. Trump, for coming today and joining us.
Well, thank you very much.
They've been telling us.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, very much.
Like mid-sentence.
Yeah.
Just like, all right, gotta go. I'm sure some campaign person was right there next to the camera. Just shut it down.
There was kind of an interesting moment where we were talking about one of the most recent police killings, and you can kind of see like him vibe off the crowd. Where he's just like, well, I don't know if we would, give them.
Because the January 6th thing, that question came off of asking about that recent police killing, the one that was like so fucking egregious that even like the police unions are just like, yeah, no, sorry, buddy, you're on your own. This is indefensible.
Yeah.
And he's
like,
just
would you give someone like that immunity? Well, I don't know.
I'd have to look
into
at the
it. It was like, excuse me?
there's no looking. It's on video. You can watch it happen. It's horrible. And which is going to be? Are we going to defend this person or are we going to send him to jail? Like everyone seems to want.
And he didn't really have a good answer. Although there was a thing where you could see him like pivot in what he was going to say. He's like,
wheels turning. What's going to make this room happy? But also this is going on TV, so I can't go.
Yeah.
Obfuscate. I'm going to obfuscate.
So it's not the best interview.
No.
Which keep talking, sir. Get out there and do more of these wonderful interviews that show exactly who you are.
I love it.
Trump, he would have been better off if this had just not happened.
Unforced error.
It's very hard to imagine the type of person who saw all of that and finally decided that my mind's changed.
I wasn't sure before, but after that performance, that command performance,
he won my vote.
I think we need to give that guy another shot at being president.
But hey, the news cycle moves fast this late in a presidential campaign. We've still got so many October surprises to unwrap.
Yeah.
So it's probably best to just move on and act like none of this happened. Oh, okay. I'm getting word that Trump and his most prominent supporters have decided to log on and continue to insist that Kamala Harris is not black.
Yes!
They're running with it.
That's what you got to do.
They're like, everyone started running with the weird stuff. We got to pick up on something immediately. Hey, this is good enough. Let's run with it.
I'm tired of being called weird. It's time for people to call me racist.
Yeah.
And weird. So yeah, it clearly went over great at the NABJ conference. So let's just keep this one going, I guess. Kamala, not black. On Truth Social, Trump posted a news headline from 2016 describing Harris as the first Indian American U.S. Senator, beside a 2020 headline describing her as the first black woman running for vice president. Well,
oh, gee whiz.
Except both these headlines are accurate.
Yes.
They do not contradict each other either. They are both accurate, true, and can coexist.
Yeah.
The first black senator took office in 1870, so obviously Kamala Harris was not the first black senator. But she's half Indian. And before she was elected in 2016, no one of Indian descent had served in the U.S. Senate. Therefore, first Indian American U.S. Senator. Trump also shared an old clip of Harris with actress Mindy Kaling, where they both describe Harris as Indian.
Checkmate.
Which, again, is correct.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris is both black and Indian. I mean, literally in the clip that everyone is sharing, Mindy Kaling says that Kamala Harris's Indian heritage is something not a lot of people are aware of. Because most people perceive her as black.
There's also an image going around of her in more traditional an outfit, and then it's people just show the picture of J.D. Vance with his wife.
Yeah,
and
I guess J.D. Vance is Indian.
Like, what are you guys trying to... You realize this is making you all look very weird, right?
You're doing it again. You're getting a little weird with it. So yeah, Trump's caption to that post was, crazy Kamala is saying she's Indian, not black. This is a big deal. Stone cold phony. She uses everybody, including her racial identity. Yikes.
So it's obviously fucking maddening that they're really going with this line of attack as if they've literally never encountered the concept of a person being biracial and are flabbergasted that a person could be two different races.
I don't understand.
Please explain it to me again. J.D. Vance literally has biracial children who are half Indian and half white.
Just ask him.
Yeah, and it wasn't just Truth Social posts that were immediately amplified by people like Charlie Kirk and other right-wing weirdos. At a Trump rally a few hours later, Trump put old headlines about Kamala being the first Indian American senator up on the big screen. It's just so fucking stupid. I mean, they have nothing. They have nothing to run on. It is remarkable. It has been several days.
Yeah.
And they have not found one thing that sticks.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. I'm not used to this being the case. I'm used to the Democrats being on their heels the whole time. I did not know it would be as easy as just being like, hey, you guys are weird and off-putting.
Oh!
And yeah, I mean, it also helps that, Kamala Harris does, as eccentric as she might be and as kind of lame as a lot of her policies might be, doesn't really seem like she has much dirt.
No.
I guess we'll see in the end, but like a lot of when there was talk, when Biden was still in the running and there was talk of Kamala, people were like, remember 2016, remember Hillary? And it's like, yeah, people had like decades of Hillary Clinton baggage to work off of there.
Yeah. So
and her husband and like a whole administration. Like Kamala Harris doesn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
All they've got is like, she dated Montel. She doesn't have any biological children. She wasted her womb. She didn't impregnate her womb.
Hey, she was the mother that stepped up.
Yeah. And again, it's like, oh, so you're gonna, I guess step parents.
Yeah, just again,
step parents aren't real parents.
Just chipping away at every single
Hey, step parents, you don't have kids. Sorry, not your kids.
Also, it's obviously not been pointed out on the more of the mainstream news networks, but J.D. Vance attacking childless people has not been going over great on the darker corners of the web where people are like, hey, buddy.
Incels don't like hearing that. It's not just
they're
cat
all like,
ladies. There's a lot of cat men out there.
Because his position is that like tax codes should be different, voting should be different. Like, well, now these incels are like, oh, wait, hold on. I'm being disenfranchised.
Well, the tax thing is so fucking funny, too, because the policy he's describing is actually a very popular policy that's supported by a lot of Democratic politicians. Mm-hmm. It's called the child tax credit, and we have it. But he frames it in such a weird, off-putting way where instead of getting a discount on your taxes for having kids, he's saying we should tax childless people more to punish them. Even though the result is the same, it's just he's framing it in just the most alienating way. And I would probably guess that a lot of conservative women don't like the idea that their value as people and as citizens is directly tied to like, having children and giving birth.
Yeah. Kind of like how
like even people who are pro-natalist and all that, like they probably see other value to their life other than being a vessel for babies.
Yeah.
Anyway, they got nothing. It's remarkable. So the playbook is apparently just to alienate people who are biracial, alienate stepmothers, and alienate women who have had boyfriends. Get their asses. So can't wait to see who they alienate next. Who could it be?
Sir, you're doing great. Keep talking. Keep going out there.
Keep posting that shit.
Yeah. Trump might not do very well in a room full of black professionals, but you know where he does shine? In a room full of crypto weirdos.
Of course he does.
Over the weekend, he attended a Bitcoin conference in which he made all sorts of promises about how he'll support this thing that he very clearly does not understand even the slightest thing about. And he signed off with this again,
We didn't think he
Terrible
still
guy.
had good sound bites in him, but like this one's so great. He has, over the last 8 years, he's said so many things that just live rent free in my head, like in my amygdala. It'll be like the last thing I fucking remember on my deathbed. And but you know, he's noticeably fallen off in that regard in the past
good
like,
reminder,
couple years.
yeah.
And this is another one that I'm just like, this is going to replace like memories of my grandparents.
So he signed off from the conference with this absolute banger. Please enjoy.
Thank you all. Have a good time with your Bitcoin and your crypto and everything else that you're playing with.
Bye-bye. So this event was also, whatever happened to those shoes? They're supposed to come out by now, right?
Oh, check it out.
Oh, good. Yeah, this was an opportunity to debut some new merch. 1,000 pairs of orange high tops with the Bitcoin logo and Trump, crypto president, written on them for $500 a pop. And they're all sold out now, but not to worry. They've got different colorways in the pipeline, so stay tuned. And we didn't realize this, but Trump has released a bunch of shoes since those initial gold Never Surrender high tops. Now it's multiple different sneakers, but also golf shoes, slides, and even hiking boots.
Oh.
And don't forget to pick up some cologne or perfume while you're here. Maybe even a $300 cooler with Trump's picture on it. Does it make margaritas?
Nope. It just keeps things moderately cool.
I bet the cologne smells great.
I bet it does. I bet it's a real feast for the senses.
Yeah. It's definitely really strong because old guys lose their sense of smell and they just keep putting
I don't think it's working. I'm going to put a little bit more on. Same with old women, too.
True.
That's why old ladies put on too much perfume. They can't smell it.
The dosage doesn't change as you age. Just give it a little squirt, one little squirt.
Yeah. Anyways, we've got more to get to today. And if you're tired of all the politics, well, sorry, because it gets worse.
We're living in a political reality right now, and we do try to take breaks every once in a while, but
Yeah.
sorry.
It gets worse because the next story is about politics and Elon Musk.
No!
Now, he's made it abundantly clear how he wants this election to go, and he has no qualms about very publicly trying to tip the scales in Trump's favor, even if it means violating the policies of his own website. Here's the New York Times. On Friday night, Mr. Musk, the billionaire owner of the social media platform X, reposted an edited campaign video for Vice President Kamala Harris that appears to have been digitally manipulated to change the spot's voiceover in a deceptive manner. The video mimics Ms. Harris's voice, but instead of using her words from the original ad, it has the vice president saying that President Biden is senile, that she does not know the first thing about running the country, and that as a woman and a person of color, she is the ultimate diversity hire.
Conservatives try not to be racist challenge. Impossible.
Impossible.
Continues, the version posted on X does not contain a disclaimer, though the account that first uploaded it Friday morning, at Mr. Reagan USA, noted in its post that the video was a parody. When Mr. Musk reposted the video on his own account 8 hours later, he made no such disclosure, stating only, "This is amazing," followed by a laughing emoji.
You know the one.
Mr. Musk's post, which has since been viewed 98 million times, would seem to run afoul of X's policies, which prohibits sharing synthetic, manipulated, or out-of-context media that may deceive or confuse people and lead to harm. The Federal Election Campaign Act prohibits fraudulent misrepresentation of federal candidates or political parties, but the law, written in 1971, is ambiguous when it comes to modern technologies such as artificial intelligence.
So yeah, not only did he violate his own website's rules, he also may have violated the law, although it's a law that clearly needs updating and fast.
People just got in deep shit for doing this with Joe Biden's voice months ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's pretty much on the same page at this point that deepfakes and AI, we really don't want that shit in our politics.
And here you have a guy whose own policy is against this, who's willingly posting it and amplifying it to the tune of 100 million people. Seems great.
But fortunately, it looks like the law might be getting ready to change right on time. Here's Engadget on Wednesday. Today, a group of senators introduced the No Fakes Act, a law that would make it illegal to create digital recreations of a person's voice or likeness without that individual's consent. It's a bipartisan effort from Senators Chris Coons, Democrat of Delaware, Marsha Blackburn, Republican Tennessee, Amy Klobuchar, Democrat Minnesota, and Tom Tillis, Republican North Carolina, fully titled the Nurture Originals, Foster Art, and Keep Entertainment Safe Act of 2024.
Boom.
No fakes.
We love it.
If it passes, the No Fakes Act would create an option for people to seek damages when their voice, face, or body are recreated by AI. Both individuals and companies would be held liable for producing, hosting, or sharing unauthorized digital replicas, including ones made by generative AI.
We've already seen many instances of celebrities finding their imitations of themselves out in the world. Taylor Swift was used to scam people with a fake Le Creuset cookware giveaway. A voice that sounded a lot like Scarlett Johansson's showed up in a ChatGPT voice demo. AI can be used to make political candidates appear to make false statements, with Kamala Harris the most recent example. And it's not only celebrities who can be victims of deepfakes. Quote, everyone deserves the right to own and protect their voice and likeness, no matter if you're Taylor Swift or anyone else, Senator Coons said. Generative AI can be used as a tool to foster creativity, but that can't come at the expense of the unauthorized exploitation of anyone's voice or likeness.
So hey, it's rare, but we do have to give Elon some credit for once. He may have helped expedite long overdue legislation by doing something just so egregious that politicians from both parties think it should be illegal as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So thank you, sir. He also this week suspended a White Dudes for Kamala Harris fundraising account for seemingly no reason at all, except that they just raised several $1 million for her campaign, and I guess he took that personally as a white dude.
His take on it is that it's racist.
Oh, that's racist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a bunch of white dudes saying, hey, I mean, listen, I will agree that it's a little weird, but the reasoning behind it is sound.
Yeah.
You have a black presidential candidate, and you have clearly a lot of people who have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a bunch of white libs being like, hey, listen, I'm a white dude and I'm not racist. In fact, I support this candidate and I'm going to try to help raise money for her.
If you are belonging to a group that thinks certain ways and hosts a white person's for this kind of thing and people look at you weird, maybe a little self-reflection should come your way instead of like when people are like, yeah, we're going to raise money for this wonderful black candidate. It's like, well, who's racist? And it was the same thing before when everyone was asking Joe Biden to step down. It was like, guys sure are racist for wanting Kamala Harris to step in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you think the whites for Harris thing is weird, there's a lot of other whites-only organizations that are going to seem absolutely insane to you.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Musk. I hope this is a across-the-board kind of thing that you're definitely going to enforce, regardless of who's involved.
He wouldn't want to see any white supremacism on Twitter.com. That would tarnish the image and legacy of the platform.
One of the Fox contributors, we covered him last week, I think he's one of the rapper guys or something like that, was like, what if this is so racist, what if they do a blacks for Trump? It's like, they do.
That.
And a bunch of white people are holding the signs half the time.
Yeah. Well, the one black guy that holds the sign is like, he's like a black Hebrew Israelite, or he like, I looked this up a long time ago. Yeah, he like started as a black Hebrew Israelite, but like, they butted heads with them and started some offshoot group that's even weirder.
Mm-hmm.
So, there are blacks for Trump. There's at least one actual black person, and he likes to go to the rallies and sit next to JFK Jr. And hold up his sign to let everyone know.
Yeah.
Anyways, as fun as it is to make fun of Elon Musk for being a weird dork, it's also important to remember that he is a genuinely terrible person. And over the weekend, we got a rare glimpse at this via some posts by Sandy Garasino, the mother of Grimes and grandmother to 3 of Elon's various children.
Mm-hmm.
The X one, and the other 2.
Okay.
The ones with the names that I'm not even going to try to say because they don't look like words.
Mm-hmm. Dear Elon, it was nice seeing you on Father's Day. I hope you got the card that I helped X make. He was so proud of it. I'm writing here as the only way I have to reach you. As you know, my 93-year-old mother is now at end-of-life palliative care. She yearns to see and hold Claire's children one last time, especially the youngest, whom she has not yet met. She was thrilled for the kids' planned visit to celebrate her birthday this weekend, today. But those hopes were crushed when the trip was canceled. I am alarmed to learn that the children cannot come as you are withholding them and their needed passport documents from Claire. It was even more troubling to see you and X on television at the Olympics in Paris yesterday after your DC trip earlier in the week. Where are the other children, and with whom? They are scheduled to be with their mother. They were expected here in Canada. I write with a grandmother's plea, asking you to honor your agreement, return the children, and provide the documents they need to see their great-grandmother before she passes. Some moments in life last forever, and we get no second chances. Family is priceless. Please, Elon, I beg you. This is so painful for my mother and concerning for the kids. Time is of the essence now.
Oh, fuck. That is bleak.
And some of the responses were like, oh, why would you air out all this dirty laundry?
She literally said this is the only way she has of contacting him.
Yes, this is very close to just a missing children situation.
Yeah, no, because if he's with the one in Paris, where are the other two? Who has these children? Because Grimes doesn't have them.
Also, look, I don't know what their whole legal case is, but if they're supposed to be, if they live in the United States and then they're supposed to be spending time in Canada and they're currently in France.
That's trafficking. You're trafficking children.
It just feels fucking wrong.
Yeah.
It's just like, it feels like you're running away with the child who's supposed to be somewhere else.
You have
currently.
kidnapped a child.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and we got some corroboration on this situation from Elon's daughter, Vivian, the one that he hates for being trans, who wrote on Threads, "Hello, everyone. I'm going to forego my standard tone for this because this is important. As you may or may not know, Grimes is currently in a custody battle with Elon over their 3 children. What you probably don't know, however, is that Elon has been illegally and continuously keeping their children, her children, away from their mother during the most important developmental period in a child's life. While Elon has been irresponsibly partying across the ocean in the very country he's spitting contemptuous poison about, Grimes' children are stuck in a house thousands of miles away without their mother. This is potentially irreversibly damaging to a child's psyche and is, without question, a despicable form of abuse. This is not the first time this has happened, and if nothing changes, likely not the last. I've only been able to catch glimpses of this from behind the scenes, and it has been both horrifying and enraging that no one has been able to do anything about it. I cannot stress this enough. This is illegal. He does not have the custody to be able to do this. Yet, since Elon has an infinite amount of funds to pull from, he has been able to successfully employ them to take their children away from the mother that they desperately require. This needs to end now."
And this all lines up with previous statements from Grimes herself about Elon hiding her kids from her and not knowing where they are despite sharing custody. So, big yikes, as they would say.
Yeah, Elon's daughter, she also, she responded to the stuff he said about her with that Jordan Peterson interview. And she's just like,
you were
I don't-
absent from my life.
Yeah, she's like, everything he said isn't true. Like, I don't know what he's talking about. And the bottom line is, like, I barely saw this guy at all during my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
He was not a father.
Mm-hmm. It kind of sounds like a piece of shit, but we do have a little bit more news for you today. So here you go. So far, we've seen multiple companies try and market AI wearables like the Humane Pin and the Rabbit R1 that are supposed to function sort of like communicator badges in Star Trek. But in reality, they just kind of suck and they aren't something that most people want or need. And now we have a new contender. It's the meme of Marcus Brownlee knocking on the doors of the Grim Reaper. Because they responded to him. They're like, we're going to get you a product. And it's, oh boy.
And I believe he replied to this with like, wait, is this not a parody? So off to a great start.
Yeah, it's called Friend. And unlike those other AI wearables, Friend isn't supposed to actually help you with anything. It's just a necklace pendant that you can talk to and it'll respond to you via text message so you feel less lonely.
Wow. Bleak.
In a debut ad for Friend that feels almost as if they went out of their way to get a Black Mirror vibe, Friend provides company for a woman on a solo hike, a guy playing video games, and a restaurant worker on her lunch break, basically filling the role of a non-existent friend that happily responds to all the mundane shit you have to say.
Yeah, you just press the button, you're like, man, I'm bored. And then Friend's like, whatever, man, it's cool to be bored. Also, you're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, yeah, when you run out of friends to be annoying and text just about nothing, Friend is there when you need a friend.
Yeah. You should get, treat your real friends better.
Yeah.
You should find things that you like to do, and then you'll meet other people that like to do those things, and then you'll have something in common, and you can start talking to them about those things.
Because believe it or not, there's actually more to friendship than
just having
than what this thing does.
Yeah, either just a conversation or
this isn't even like conversations. Like it's not even that complex. It's just like wow, I just went on a hike, and they're like, good job, you did it.
Yeah, it would honestly.
Thanks, friend.
I saw someone point this out last week, and I'm going to butcher the quote exactly, but it is true. It's like, I've got my own generative AI in my head, and it can do it for free without any of the carbon.
No, this is a really great product for people who don't have an internal monologue.
Yeah.
Now you can have an external dialogue.
Mm-hmm. The quote that I'm thinking of was like a tweet that was like, and I can make SpongeBob sing anything I want up there. It's not like...
I can look at an apple from any angle.
It's not billowing smoke into the sky. And it's like, for this... I mean, just get like a stuffed animal or make an imaginary friend, because that's it's as pathetic. Just because it has some sort of digital response, whether it's audio or text, like, just start talking to yourself, buddy.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, there's a lot of lonely people out there, but even still, like, I just don't see this appealing to very many people. We are in a loneliness epidemic, and you've managed to fail at making the product for loneliness.
Yeah. It actually, when I watched this trailer, it made me feel more lonely.
Yeah.
Made me feel more isolated, because it makes me feel like humanity is rolling backwards into a less friendly and accepting place.
I mean,
along with everything else going on.
Anyway, as with most AI products, the response from the public has mostly been, who is this for? Why would anyone want this? Go away. Followed by laughter at the fact that the company behind the product spent $1.8 million, more than half of its seed funds, more than half, on the domain name friend.com.
Well, we can always sell the name if the product doesn't do good.
Which, last I checked, you can't look at the website. It was being blocked by my ISP for being suspicious.
Yeah.
So great job. You spent almost $2 million on a website no one can look at. Anyways, Wired actually interviewed the creator of Friend, Avi Schiffman, and it is a fascinating look at the next dead-on arrival AI gadget. Schiffman wants the Friend to be something very different. While the Humane AI Pin and Rabbit R1 both aimed to automate and accomplish tasks and increase productivity, the Friend doesn't try to automate or optimize anything. As my colleague Reese put it, it's much more vibes-based than productivity-focused. Productivity is over. No one cares, Schiffman says. No one is going to beat Apple or OpenAI or all these companies that are building Jarvis. The most important things in your life really are people.
The Friend purely offers companionship. It's meant to develop a personality that complements the user and is always there to gas you up, chat about a movie after watching it, or help analyze how a bad date went awry. Not only does Schiffman want the Friend to be your friend, he wants it to be your best friend. One that is with you wherever you go, listening to everything you do, and being there for you to offer encouragement and support. He gives an example where he says he recently was hanging out, playing some board games with friends he hadn't seen in a while, and was glad when his AI friend chimed in with a quip. I feel like I have a closer relationship with this fucking pendant around my neck than I do with these literal friends in front of me, Schiffman says. Yeah.
Jesus.
It's pretty obvious why your friend group is small and does not like you.
Oh, cool. He's talking to the fucking necklace again.
Yeah.
All right. Avi, please don't come back to the next board game
It's
night.
weird and off-putting.
Yeah. This is like one of the few times we have to actually reconnect in person.
Hey, here comes
and
that...
you're talking to your little gizmo.
Here comes that guy that's wearing that AI necklace that's going to eavesdrop on all of our conversations.
Yeah,
Let's shun him from the group.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah. If someone shows up to a party or to your friend group wearing this thing, they're a fed.
Yeah, it's the glass hole effect from 12 years ago when people would show up at bars wearing Google Glass and the bar owners and bouncers would be like, no, you have to leave.
Yeah.
You can't come in here wearing a fucking camera on your head.
Yeah, it's like the meta glasses now. It's just like, if one of those things was going off at like a party or something, you'd get punched in the face.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a few more great little snippets from this article. For sure, there will be some people that try and fuck the USB-C port of this, Schiffman says. I think I'm shameless enough to understand what I'm building. But if you look at something like Replica and you look at the studies of this too, the lowest tiered thing that people will do is try to fuck it. Most people really are just talking about literally what they did today and their feelings and the AI's feelings. Before Schiffman leaves after laying out his vision, I ask if he can check in with the friend he's wearing to see how the meeting went. He squeezes the pendant and asks it how the interview went. We all wait for a few seconds, and then he gets a text, labeled simply as Emily, in his chat window, that reads, "Dude, you're killing it. They seem super into your vision."
Woo! I mean, I guess it'll give a lot of bad people a lot of false self-confidence. You nailed it. You nailed that interview. Don't worry about it. If they didn't like it, that's their problem.
I wish my brain worked in a way where a fucking robot could tell me I'm doing everything right, and I would just be like, hell yeah, at least someone believes in me. And not be like, oh, well, this is depressing as fuck.
Dude, just get a dog. Just get, you're doing a great thing. You're helping an animal.
Yeah.
Adopt a dog.
You can even,
and it's going to be the best friend you've ever had.
I'll tell you a device that is a tech product that is so much more useful than this fucking pendant is, it's called the Furbo, and it is a camera that shoots dog treats, and you can put it in your house when you're out out on the town, and you can pull up your phone and you can see your dog and you can throw treats at it. It'll make you feel infinitely better and happier than this fucking bullshit.
Get a pet, get a dog, get a cat, take great care of it, treat it well, and you will have a companion for a very long time. And people will enjoy it. You know, speaking of making friends,
I can't talk to my dog about my dates and how horribly they're all going.
No, speaking of, you have so much more dates when you show up with that dog at the dog park.
Yeah, I can't talk to my dog when I'm in the middle of hanging out with my boring friends at board game night.
Yeah. Anyways, there's other options out there, people, and we hope you take them.
No, I want friend. Give me friend.
Hey, the interview with Wired went great. You have nothing to worry about.
Hell yeah. I was worried about it, but thank you, friend.
Mm-hmm. Well, friend was wrong, apparently, because if he went back and read the article, now he can't trust friend. Bad friend.
Fake friend.
Yeah. Making this dumber is the fact that apparently someone else debuted an extremely similar AI wearable last month that's also called Friend.
Oh, no.
But we got the website.
Who's the real friend and who's the fake friend?
This other guy understandably feels upset about this new friend getting all the attention. So he responded with a rap song.
Yo, I'm Nick, and for those who don't know, I built Friend. Renamed your tab, jacked my style, built nothing real, it's been a while. Investor cash, you burn it quick, I'm grinding hard, tracks in my peak. Talk big game, where is the proof? All your suites, no roof. I'm the founder, hardware in hand, user Shishido can't understand. I view your jokes, spend a meal on a name, can't ship a thing, just Twitter fame. Friend and yours, riding my wave, open source fam, digging your grave. Take a seat, I've learned the grind, you're wasting cash, I'm building in time. Respect the game, respect the source, I'm the real friend, the AI force.
Wow. Incredible flow. Got the new Kendrick over here. So yeah, things are going great in the AI wearables space.
I don't know if this was true, but someone responded to this Friend CEO guy and was like, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. And he responded with, your company invested in me.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we invest in a lot of stuff, guys. Not all of it. It's not always gonna be a hit.
Friend seems like something they'd show up with to Shark Tank. And well, Kevin O'Leary's an idiot.
Yeah,
he would, I love it.
It's great. My grandson's gonna love Friend.
I feel like Mark Cuban or anyone else would be like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Go make a real friend. Dork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lounge Shark Tank every day.
Go to your local animal shelter and adopt. Don't buy.
Yeah, adopt a dog and then go to a dog meetup.
Yeah.
And meet other
like-minded people.
Adult human beings who also have dogs. And
the hardest part.
It's the easiest conversation starter in the world is talking about your dog and talking about someone else's dog. It breaks the ice immediately.
The hardest part of making friends is breaking the ice, and a nice hobby that you've been enjoying or are knowledgeable about, or a pet, or anything else out in public would do you a lot of good.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
You don't need the necklace.
You don't.
Anyways, that's our tech show. Our tech show, where our advice is get the fuck outside.
Go outside.
Put on sunscreen.
Yeah. Make some friends. Maybe even make some black friends, and they'll keep you honest about not saying really dumb shit to millions of people. That would be even better.
Anyways, for more brilliant tips like these, you can watch our previous episodes, which are going to be popping up in a second. But again, the episode is not sponsored. If you appreciate the advice, please click the join button.
Please.
It's like we're in that the Peanuts episode. We got the advice booth with the sign with the except the inflation.
And we don't
$5
care.
Now.
You can be white dudes for Internet Today. White
we
girls
got magicians,
black dudes, Mexicans.
We got magicians for Internet Today. We got grannies for Internet Today.
We don't care who you are. We'll take your money.
Just click the join button. And if you can't do that, please click the like button. It really, really does help, believe it or not. So take a second, click the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Leave a comment down below. Chat amongst yourselves. And we will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.